Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Mythgard in Middle-earth. My name is Corey Olson, the Tolkien Professor, joined as always by my friend Gryfflet, who is trying, rather unsuccessfully, to fit in with the orcs here at the arena in Thorzhaf in Mordor. And we are ready to complete our Thorzhaf quests. We finished successfully the complicated and confusing series of events at Fouchambal, and we've moved down to Thorzhaf and are working on things down here. And I believe we're going to be working our way around to Nurnhoth, which is where the epic takes me, so I think that's where, like, the big thing is. That is, like, the main storyline in Talath Urui, the Stone Maiden stuff. So, looking forward to getting down around there, but enjoying the stuff along the way. So this, just to pause for a moment while I'm here, not in a safe place, but in a place where no one's noticing me, I think this is a fascinating answer to the question. Like, so obviously, like, one of the things that's interesting from an adaptation perspective of the entire Mordor storyline is it involves the question, which of course the book never really asks. It's not what the story is about. But it's a perfectly sensible question to ask, which is what exactly does happen among the followers of Sauron after the defeat of Sauron. We get a brief reaction, right? I mean, like, that we get a brief description of the immediate response of, like some orcs committing suicide and stuff like that, right? I mean, they're at the Black Gate. Other people surrendering and whatever. So there's like, but that's just in the moment, right? Afterwards, what happens? Not only just what happens to, like, power and authority, but there's, like, what happens to orcs left on their own, for instance, which many orcs are going to be left, at least comparatively, on their own. They seem to have a hierarchy of their own. We see that in lots of places, like with Shagrat and Gorbag. We see that with, the conflict between Grishnak and Ugluk, right? There's clearly leadership and a leadership structure among the orcs and things, and that doesn't seem likely to fall apart instantly as soon as Sauron is gone. But their own affiliations, like the leader. Anyway, Thorzhaf here is providing one really interesting, and it seems to me enormously plausible, answer to the question of what would orcs do if left to themselves. Left to themselves, they form this massive fight club. Okay, yeah, that tracks. I can believe that they would, yeah, that's, yes. Would Sauron allow this? Well, maybe. Like, during peacetime. Probably not, like, while the country's being actively invaded. But, they're not thinking about the big picture anymore. That would be part of the difference, right? Anyway, so I find this whole area kind of interesting. Now, I'm on the waiting list, and needless to say, in a full week, I've come off the waiting list and could talk to Maukatish already. But all I have to do is wake 5 sleeping orcs, and I'm going to see if I can do that burglariously. That is, I could put on the disguise, but I'm going to see if I can do this without a disguise, because that would be fun. I have to scold the sleeping orcs. Okay. So I just stand there tapping my foot primly, not in any disguise, and the sleeping orcs apparently take little enough notice, so that's fine. Yeah, Phil, I agree. For all we know, this is how they've been passing the 3,000 years while Sauron got things up and running again. Yes. I mean, it is something. The idea of what would orcs do without Sauron is not like it's some kind of, like, totally theoretical question that has no bearing to the events in the text as described. There have been long stretches, as you point out, right, in the Third Age as well as the in the Second Age as well as the Third Age, and they have to have been doing something, right? And I think in some ways, retroactively, the Great Goblin and the goblins of the Misty Mountains that we see in The Hobbit, I think that retroactively speaking, that is a glimpse, essentially, of what orcs do when they're not being supervised, because I don't think they're being supervised at that point. Sauron is going to return. There might be some pressure. They may have heard about... I mean, they're relatively close to Dol Guldur, where Sauron is already setting up, but he's just starting. And he's certainly not... If the Necromancer of Mirkwood were commanding, like openly commanding, large armies of orcs, you'd think the White Council would have been a little bit more suspicious sooner, right? So I don't think that was happening. The fact that Gandalf had to go and do this whole investigation at Dol Guldur, right, in order to, ascertain the true identity of the Necromancer. Again, I think many people would have had a more than passing suspicion if there had been armies of orcs being rallied there. Anyway, so there is that moment. So there are two moments, I think, in the text that give us the clearest sense of, or clearest evidence into, or kind of insight into the question of what would orcs do if left to themselves. And with the Great Goblin in the Misty Mountains, in The Hobbit, we see an example of essentially an orc society, independent orc society functioning. We don't see that much of it, right? But we see some of it. In Shagrat and Gorbag's discussion, just making sure there's no sleeping orcs here, though I guess my mini-map would tell me. In Shagrat and Gorbag's discussion, we hear more. We don't see it in action, which means, by the way, we can't assume. When Shagrat and Gorbag talk about, setting up on their own with a few trusty lads, it sounds sort of lovely, right? And the implication there, right? The idea that there are lads that they would consider trusty and that they would join together and form this, it would be like, the Robin Hood of the orcs or whatever, right? You're going to have like the Shagrat and Gorbag's merry men and whatnot. It's possible to kind of imagine that based on their words. But of course, we don't know exactly how that would in fact look in practice, right? And the fact that that same Shagrat and Gorbag end up killing each other, shoot. Spotted. Who, me? Nope, I'm not here. Totally not here. The fact that they end up killing each other suggests to me rather clearly that it really probably would not have worked out, in fact, that they would not really have succeeded in living that way and living that way in peace for any reasonable amount of time. So anyway, that's so as I say, we don't actually see it like in practice. I think I've got to kill this dude to get at the armor. All right, I definitely have to kill this dude to get at the armor. Am I in fact targeting you? I think so. I can only see your midriff, so I'm not completely sure, but I'm going to assume that that's the case. Okay. All right, not killed, gently subdue. Sorry, yeah, yeah, okay. Never been totally behind the euphemisms. I've said from the beginning, playing Lotro, that like I could wish that it, you know, the game and progression in the game were based on something in addition to combat and killing things. Um, but you know, like I understand that it is what it is, and the genre of the game is the genre of the game. You know, that was chosen these many years ago, and that is what it is, and that's fine. But I do like slightly object to the like euphemistic avoidance of that reality, right? But anyway, okay. Anyway, right. Edith says it'd be less like Robin Hood and more like Don Corleone. Probably. Fair enough. Fair enough. Though even Don Corleone, I think, was a little bit too, you know, his, I think his personnel policies are probably still a little bit too generous. But anyway, all right. Let us talk to Maukatish and move this along. I did your small tasks. Gar, well, I'll be. You actually did all those things? You're a strange orc, Master Mangler, I'll say that much. I suppose a deal's a deal. Why are they attacking me? I was in... Does my disguise go away when I talk to him? Nobody here. Oh, you killed me. Look at me lying dead. Seriously? Is that a bug? Is that supposed to happen? I mean, Maukatish doesn't care. Well, Gar, well, how about that? Looks like you'll be in the next tournament, Master Mangler. Better get preparing. Okay. And now I talk to Párgrub. No, it can't. It's not the time limit. I mean, I was wearing that armor for like 30 seconds, and it went off as soon as I talked to Maukatish. Like as soon as I initiated conversation with him, they attacked me. It seemed fairly clear. I mean, I couldn't actually see myself to see if it had gone off the armor, but okay. So now I talk to who? The other dude? Párgrub. Yeah, he's that little goblin that I was conspiring with, right? So, oh, Wonky, you think it's just because I was standing next to one for too long? That's very possible. In which case, again, it seems more than a little odd that I can't complete the quest and like talk to the dude without having somebody notice me. I mean, like, what's the point of disguise at all? Okay, anyway, whatever, it's fine. Okay. Oh, hang on a second. I just realized my sound isn't right. Hang on. Yeah. Let's actually bring in the game sound, shall we? Have such great plans! With you helping, this poor Snaga will soon rise to power as best scrapmonger. Yes! We must prepare then. Párgrub needs to check supplies to see what scrapmonger can bet with, on you. Okay. Great. Happy day for Párgrub. The fighting is about to begin. Many supplies bet on you, Hobbit. Better, win for Párgrub. Huh. I feel like this is going to go, very well. Okay. Great. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait. Wait, swaying the match? This poor Snaga bet some supplies on the fights in Thorzhaf right now. Can't afford to lose those supplies, you understand. Maybe you sneak in there and sway the fights? Okay. Find a suitable place to cheer or laugh at the fighters. Okay. All right, I'll do that before I fight then, Párgrub. How about that? I'll let you increase your betting possibilities. Hang on a second. Let me just get the orc armor while it's here. Okay. All right, these guys, they're 112. Good. I'm still 4 above them. So I'm going to let myself get... But if y'all could help me pay attention, I always forget about this. I probably won't threaten to break into level 117 before the end of today. But I need to remember to shut off my XP gain before I do, because I don't want to be a full 5 over. Yeah, I'm 4 above all these guys, and that's where I like to be. 4 levels up. But yeah, beyond that, it might become more difficult to pick up the quests, and I don't want to run any risks of that. Okay, so I will stand near the unaware guys. What's a suitable place? How about here? No? How will I know when I'm at a suitable place? I'm just going to run through here. I assume, yeah, some white text will pop up. I'll go to one of the platforms, maybe? Upstairs? Is that more suitable? Are those just on the top floor? Okay, here we go. Big old viewing platform. No? Not here either? Okay. I'll just wander about. You know, top down here. Until some white text pops up. I just ran through one? I didn't see any text. Did I get a message? As soon as I arrived? Seriously? Alright, hang on. I didn't see it. Didn't see it. Looking at too many things. Okay, hang on. Yeah, I was looking for an emote button to pop up. Alright. So here's the front door where I came in. Aha. Now I have to find a place to challenge or roar. Okay, I guess I'll just... Sorry, I don't know how I missed that. I guess it's all the floating names. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay. I will cheer at the next spot. Is it here? No? This looks like a good place to cheer. It's where they're all cheering. It's not a good place for me to cheer. I always say these always feel frustrating to me, these quests that want you not just to do a thing, but to, like, get to a particular spot. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. Headed back over to Párgrub. Me and some friends. I'm gonna try to set a personal record for how many orcs I'm Look at that. Look at that crowd. Gryfflet is so popular. Hey, Párgrub. Gonna be happy to see me? Oh, no, I'm losing some of them. Oh, still got at least one. Just the one? Okay, fine, I'll fight you. That way I won't continue to aggro the new guards and whatnot. Okay. Alright, Párgrub.
Ya Harry, hoy!
Now less pouring, more supplies, and power come this way. Very good bet this poor Snaga made. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear it, Párgrub. It's enormously rewarding to know that I am advancing your career. Okay. Get dressed and go fight. All right. Let's see how this goes.
The arena of Thorzhaf is home to a pit fighting tournament, with the greatest warriors battle for fame and power.
Do they usually sneak out in stealth mode? Okay. I'm in the arena. Here I am, in the arena. Do I have to go on the bridge? Okay. You bell it to the crowd, man. What is the meaning of this? How did this filth get into our fight? Oh, my disguise didn't hold? No matter. We have all come to see blood. See, they're not being euphemistic. We have all come to see death. Yeah, that's right. As with our arrangements, today's winner shall live to see another fight. Okay. Oh man, look at the grinders under there too. That's intense. The loser shall be handed over as an offering. Whoa, wait, to the ever-gracious Thraknul. Really? Tell me more. I don't want to stand here just in case. The Master Mangler. That's right. Yeah, that's me. You can't see me, but that's me. Okay, prepare yourself for Bukra the Scratcher. Okay. Where's Bukra the Scratcher? Oh, there he is. Oh, he doesn't look likely to knock me off the bridge. He'll scratch me to death, huh? Okay. Oh. Well, so this doesn't seem enormously challenging, but that's okay. I don't mind. Gugru the Gangly. Okay. who's, who's next? Párgrub the Postulant? You fear what you can't defeat? Okay. Is that meant to be you? Oh, thank you for turning your back on me. that was thoughtful. Sorry, I'm just laughing at the gangly. That's... Yeah. Is like Ingor the Incontinent next? Oh wait, no, who is it? Darpush the Foul. I was close. I was close. Kogach the Corpulent. Yeah, you never know. I'm just gonna see if you would be so polite as to turn around. Thank you. Very accommodating of you. Did you just call me a grub? Oh, I won. Hooray. All right, I gotta talk to my manager over here. What do you think, sir?
Hi, holla!
Great work defeating all those filthy Snaga. Thought you wouldn't make it there. Really? Looks like they know you're Hobbit now. No more fooling them. Good. No need. Okay, we finished day 1. Let's go train for tomorrow. Okay, that's good. Can't wait to see Párgrub's training regimen. What shall I do? Shall I go round up some chickens? Shall I, I don't know, lift a wagon or something? Párgrub not realize Hobbit so strong. Should have, bet more. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Were you betting against me, Párgrub? Come on. Ooh. Oh, damn. It's a different hauberk, which is a different set entirely. So it was one thing when in Gondor, each of the new sets of armor that I got in each region looked exactly identical to the one before. Like, that was slightly disappointing, unlike the truly satisfying cosmetic experience that was Rohan. But this Mordor stuff has just been terribly frustrating because they're constantly shifting ground. Of the towers? What is that even? I mean, it's an upgrade to the armor I'm actually wearing, so it's not like I'll be, like, disappointed to have it. But, like, complete sets, people. Ooh, big light of a Rendell boost, too. But still. Oh, well, it's fine. Yeah, I'm ready for another fight. Let's go. Day 2. Bring it. Yeah. Totally ready to fight for Párgrub again.
Pit fighters of Mordor have been known to rise to power through their efforts in the arena of Thorzhaf.
The Uruk Gumag starts to bellow to the crowd. The dawn comes on another day of battle, and the Master Mangler has survived the night. But will this filth survive the day's opponents? Blood will be shed, I assure you all. Now let the combat begin. Our first opponent is feared from Nurn to Udun. Make way for Maushak, the Marrow Drinker. That's a little bit better. Just certainly the Marrow Drinker is good. Take your time though, man. Got things to do. Could you turn around, please? Thank you. It's really kind of nice that that works. And that, you know, I remember to do it. I'm all proud of myself for using my skills. Oops. Okay. There he goes. Bring out the next opponent! Alright, who is it? The impenetrable Garnoch Steelfist. Impenetrable, huh? Oh, I didn't set the thingy to single target focus strikes. Yeah. Good call. They're so obliging. It's really charming. Now for the day's final opponents. That's right, they're inseparable. And they'll rip the flesh off your bones, having remembered to do focus strikes. It's Karg and Kur, the Ripper Twins. We will rip you from limb to limb. Alright. Well, only one of you turn around then. Nah, neither of you? Fine. Huh. Okay, that was it. The Master Mangler is again the victor! It's if the Weasley twins were orcs. Okay. Oh, yeah. My manager's back.
Hi, holla!
Gah, you won! Good work, yes. You fight well and make Párgrub a name around other Snaga. Yeah. I just feel like you're not really in my corner here, Párgrub. Can't believe he's still betting against me. More scraps to be coming any time now. Do not worry about poor Párgrub. You, amaze me with all your fighting and winning. How do you do it? Good thing there's one more day of fighting, otherwise Párgrub, never mind. Okay. Yeah, you can still recoup your losses. Okay. What's this other one? Oh, yeah, it's the might one. Don't want that. Now it's the last fight. Párgrub has only one chance left to bet big. All this poor Snaga's supplies, but the bucket of armor scrap will go. Yeah. Of course I'm gonna win. What do you think? Oh, Relic of the Last Alliance. Where's my new armor? Okay. Alright. Oh, yeah. So, okay. Expeditionary Coif. Conqueror's Camel. Expeditionary Hauberk. Pathfinder's Gauges. Expeditionary Pants. Pathfinder's Boots. Though they are live, which I quite like. So, to this mishmash, I add the final mishmash. Ooh, it at least looks cool. All right, kind of like it. What's it called again? Hauberk of the Towers? Okay, now give me a whole set like this, folks. Can we get a Towers set that all matches and stuff? That would be great. Now I'll equip it for real, too. Oh, yeah. My light of it. Arendelle is doing great now. Effective shadow -10. Take that. Residuum of Sauron. Okay. Cool. Cool. Good, good. Good. All right, Párgrub. Let's do this. This is it. Are you ready, strong hobbit? Yeah, I am.
The arena of Thorzhaf, home of a pit-fighting blood sport, runs under the direct orders from Thraknul, the Black Uruk.
The Black Uruk, huh? All right, let's hear it. The final day of the tournament is upon us. Only the strongest will claim victory. Thraknul has received many gifts and thanks us for our tribute. Oh, I'm sure he's very grateful and expressing his gratitude politely. Now witness the greatest of fights between the deadliest of foes. The Master Mangler has entered the arena. The outsider filth has bested many of you. Now let's see this weakling take on our first warrior. I give you Urzat the Ravenous. Okay, the Ravenous, huh? Like the Ravening would be kind of cool. Ravenous just says they should feed you more. Whoa. Yikes. I accidentally almost fell in the pit. Okay. I should watch where my hands are. Okay. There we go. Urzat the Ravenous. Thank you. Very polite. Oh, focus strikes. Boy, you're as easy as, like, the incontinent one. Gar, still this outsider filth persists. Only a creature of Harad could finish what others could not. Now enter Gorzum the Finisher. Finisher makes it sound like, you know, I don't know, you're like a woodworker or something. Okay, here we go. Oh, you won't turn around, huh? Fine. You're being stubborn that way, huh? Oops. Okay. Well, you went down quick. No matter, for you are no match for our next warrior. A storm appears over the horizon. It is Mordor, Blade Storm. Okay. It's like a pretty good name. The blades I wield will steal your life. Okay. Turn around, please. No? Okay, fine. Be that way. I keep expecting them to get, like, significantly harder in some way, but they're not. They seem to be all kind of much of a muchness. You, Master Mangler, have bested all our greatest warriors. Now you shall know what real pain is. The victor of our previous tournament has arrived to kill you. Okay. He's the tyrant of the Morgai? Is that what you said? The battle-scar brute. Nurag the Scar-webbed. Alright, I'm going to stand over here. Because you could knock me off the bridge, and I don't want any part of that. Ooh, look at that. I don't even have to ask you to turn around, because you're already turned. Okay. I've been waiting for a troll. I did not expect like a magma troll. That's good. Aha! Aha! I knew you were going to do that. Oh, yeah, you want to fight over here? Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay. Thank you. Good, good. You have defeated Nurnhoth the Scarwebbed. Okay. Fend off the hordes of orcs. Nothing more to say, folks? What happens now? Do I leave? Like, do I leave the pit and fight my way out? I wonder what triggers something happening. Oh, here we go. Well, you're not exactly a horde, but maybe you're the start of one. Let's hope for the best. Okay. Anybody else want to jump in? Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay. Come on now. Don't be shy. Oh, sorry. Didn't see you over there, little one. Halt.
Halt! Let the filth live! For I, Gumag, have wagered much on this outsider and won. Gar. Thraknul will be pleased with me, for I have given him many a prisoner.
Okay.
I thank you for your help in weeding out these wretched excuses for orcs. Gar. Come back any time for another fight.
You must have cheated. Párgrub is ruined. Uh-huh. Phew. Yeah, I was afraid we were bugging there and I'd have to do it all again.
Oh no, Párgrub ruined! Bet against you every time! Thought you would die a horrible death, Párgrub did. Now you win every fight and Párgrub have nothing. Such failure! At least other orcs think you work for Párgrub now. Maybe you come back and fight again sometime, and this poor Snoggo will bet on you for once.
Well, look whose fault is that, my man. Okay. Good, continuing to boost the light of Eärendil here. That's the bit I really care about. Okay. And again, it's a Pathfinder thing. Whatever. Okay. Excellent. So Párgrub is done. Thorzhaf is more or less done. Thorzhaf is, that's it, yeah? Yeah, I got the impression, Phil, from his talk about returning that there was probably a repeatable element to this. But yeah, I think Gryfflet is satisfied with his current level of fame in the arena. Is this another one of those evil, evil public baths? Looks like it. No. Little worm statue? Interesting. Huh. Oh, well, that's fun. Okay. I don't have a quest for you, Fire Drake. I have a quest for... Whoa, what is that? Kyrog? What on earth is that thing? It's a lesser Kyrog, huh? It's a flaming stone turtle thing. Weird. Okay. Hang on, I got a fire grim right over here. Might as well. Is there lava that I'm going to fall into? No? Okay, fine. Targeted the wrong one. How about that? Because I do have a quest for you, Mr. Firegrim. Almost done with my Firegrims. Okay. There we go. 6 out of 8. That was useful. I'm going to have to go fumarole hunting at some point, though, I suspect. But I'll just continue to do those as they, like, cross my path here. Because I think that's it. I think I can move on. And we're moving on to... Because I've got to scout the other places. Complete quests in Naerband and Nurnhoth. Yep, I'm done here. Oh, wait. There's a Ring of the Watchstone? I didn't see that. Oh, is it one of those, like, quest rings that floats 8 miles above its head? Okay. As you approach the carven stone, a sense of dread surrounds you. A nearby gaze envelops you. It is not a living gaze, but an ancient sight bored into your mind. You start to hear whispers and of many voices and languages. You cannot make out a single word. Then you start to notice an anger, a pure, spiteful malice in all the whispers. The whispers and spite seem to start focusing on you. They become one and focus into a single word. The statue seems to say, "Leave." You try to leave, but the spirit's hold is too heavy to break. Oh, good. Spirits with AoE effects. Ah, that like to play targeting games. Thanks. Okay. I have to fight all of them, like all 8 of them, without... I hate it when they do that disappearing into the ground trick. Okay, I think we're going to be all right here. Okay. Good. How about I wait until I heal and then I'll confront the Watching Stone. So are you going to allow me to leave now? Maybe you should be the one who leaves. The spite and anger start to fade. Still, the piercing gaze consumes you. The low whispering begins to fade as well. The emotions the stone projects into your head are hard to make out. You see a turbulent flash of colors, then an overwhelming sensation of defeat. You see a man slain by a Morgul blade. His life flashes and his spirit is torn from his body. The body falls and topples onto the spirit. The spirit tries to escape, but it seems unable to move. Slowly, the slain body turns into twisted stone. The dreamlike image fades, and you are once again able to focus. A voice in your head again speaks, this time with no anger, only sadness. It says, leave. Ah, you want to leave. Okay. I don't understand. Like, the spirit is pinned below the body? That seems odd. That's it? Okay. So it... Hopefully that good has been done here. All right. Let us mount up. Come, carry on. I had a not very fun bureaucratic visit to the bank yesterday, which took ages. And I was... Oh, wait, hang on. A fumarole. Anyway, so I was like sitting around in my bank forever yesterday. But my favorite part was when the bank's radio, whose speaker was immediately behind my head, started playing Carry On, My Wayward Son, and it made me think of Gryfflet. Okay. Yep, fumarole right by the side of the road, easily accessible, can't turn that up. No, I don't think I can make the fumarole turn around. Because the problem is that they have an AoE, so I can't sneak up on them, which seems unfair. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check out all those watching stones. So I'm guessing that, like, the ones on the outside, like the ones to the right of the path going this direction. Boy, I'm wagging something awful. Come on. Come on, carry on. You can do it. How about a straight line? What is going on? Oh, I forgot to... Okay, it's fine. Let's see. It's just not responding to my keystrokes at all. It's running a little bit better to the mouse. Whew, got my hat on just in time. Forgot to put my hat on before. Okay. All right. Oh, I got the bridge here. Let me pause before the bridge. You know what I haven't found in a long time? A flaming page. I haven't found any pages in forever. Was there a single page in Thorzhaf? I was disappointed. I've almost forgotten about the pages. Wait, where's my page quest? Don't I have a page quest? How do I not have a page quest? I just realized it's not on. Where would it be? Talathurui, right? I'm concerned. It's not in the Black Book of Mordor. You'd think it'd be in the Talathurui section, but I don't have it at all. What? Oh dear. What on earth is happening? Hang on. I just hit very much the wrong combination of things. Uh-oh. What the heck? Sorry. You have to... I thought I had found a page, but maybe they're holding off on the pages. Hang on a second. I gotta come back in now. I have no idea what I accidentally hit there. There's singed pages in Talathurui. Yeah, I don't think I've found one yet. Which, as I say, is concerning. That is concerning. Okay. Super weird. Okay. Sorry, coming back in. Yeah, I think I must not have... the lore quest yet. But I can't believe it's taken so long. In the other regions, they were spread like everywhere around the region from beginning to end. I got the quest as soon as I came into the region, basically. But here I've been in two to three areas already and haven't found a single page. Weird. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So where are we? That's what I was checking here on the map. Wait, there's one back at Malzur. Where? Wait, there's one back there and I missed it? Oh, that place was a nightmare. Well, yeah, I must have missed it. I mean, if there's one back there, I clearly missed it. Should I go back now? Yes. If there's one back there, I'll go back right now. Pick it up. Where am I going? Yeah, Maukatish too. All right, I'm going to go back. Okay. All right. Great. Perfect. Okay, so it will be... Let's just stealth up and head over there. Yeah, see, these guys are green to me already. I'm 7 up on them. But that's okay. This isn't the area where I am anymore. Go down past Fauchambal? Oh, wait, really? Like, hang on a second. Go down the road past Fauchambal, and when you turn left to Thorzhaf, turn right instead. Oh, like the road to Lingrith? Okay, fine. I thought that you said there was one up here. In Darmajul, which is up here. Darmajur. So it's not actually in the camp at Darmajur? Okay. Because the lore quests are very important. We got the Shelob story, which was cool. Hang on a second. Wait. I'm confused now. Am I supposed to be going into the camp or not? Oh, I see. The camp goes all the way through down to the intersection. I see. So I don't have to go through the whole camp. I can just come in from the other end. Perfect. Let's absolutely do that. Okay, I see. Yeah, I didn't realize it connected all the way through, but I see it up there on the right-hand side, paralleling the road. Yeah, and I must have missed the page because, as I recall, when as soon as I finished all the quests, I was like, I'm out of here, and I just turned around and left instead of continuing on because I didn't realize it connected to the road. Or that would have probably been a faster way out. But all right. Okay, down past my favorite place, Fauchambal. And there's another one of those evil public baths. Another Ronk. Yep, there's Gachronk. And now, here we come. On the intersection. Sneaking into Darmajur from the other side. All right. Got it. There's the entrance to the camp right there. More or less. All right, wait, what is this? It's just the gate, right? Hi, fellas. I'm back briefly. Maguro. Okay. I'm just looking for a singed page. That's all. Have you guys seen any singed pages? Oh, no, this is just a dinky little camp. Some corroded small chests and nothing else of consequence. Huh. Okay. Weird. I go up this way? I'll keep going up the path. So this is the Lingris Road. Hang on, let me try to get a little vantage point here. So there isn't one actually on the Lingris Road, is there? Can I get in from the backside over here? Maybe I can. Hang on. All right, let me try to go off trail here. Whoa. It's like clipping over there. All right. What could go wrong here? Nothing could go wrong. I can't get up there? No. Okay. It seriously backs onto that other camp. I can get around that way, can't I? Surely. Oh, look. So near to Darmajur and yet so far. What is even the point of not letting me go in this way? Oh, that is infuriating. Huh. Yeah, it's like right there. That's it. I can get up there. They just won't let me up here. Just invisible wall. Even though I actually have dar. Oh, good grief. Fine. Go back to the other side again. No, that's infuriating. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's all worth it for the lore pages. What can I say? All right. Meanwhile, while I do this, I'm going to return to the subject I was discussing last week, but I didn't get a chance to finish. So I had been talking about the frame of the Silmarillion last time, like the frame of the Silmarillion that Tolkien wrote, but which, oh wait, no, here I am already immediately going the wrong way. That's fun. But which Christopher took out in the published Silmarillion. So the published Silmarillion sounds like it has no frame of any kind. No elves explaining and telling stories to mortals frame. And Phil had asked a follow-up question, which was, how does the story, like the Ariel story or the Alfwine story that Tolkien was developing, how does that fit with the, no, I don't want to go into Gathronk. Or maybe I do. Can I get through here? Zagronk? Looks like I can get through. But, I've said that before. Excuse me, Dark Waters. I have no quarrel with you. Yikes. That was some AoE madness right there. Okay. Okay. Now I'm proceeding basically all the way through, right? I'm going to go as far as I can go. Which direction do I want to go? Not that way. Okay. So Phil's question was, how does the Alfwine, the concept of the Alfwine frame, the idea that there was a medieval dude of the Anglo-Saxon period who sailed in a ship to Tolaressia and got the stories and brought them back, and that his book, written in Old English, is, the source of our lore, and where the stories came from. How does that fit with the Red Book of Mizarble? It's the Red Book of Mizarble. Listen to me. I'm thinking about I've got the Book of Mizarble on the brain because I've been doing the Book of Mizarble for so long and exploring the Lord of the Rings with the Red Book of Westmarch. And the answer is it doesn't. Basically, these are two separate alternative frames that Tolkien. Now, you could say on the one hand, hang on, let me explain. The Red Book of Westmarch. Let's talk about what the Red Book of Westmarch is and what's included in it. Because remember, the West Book is not just Bilbo's diary, finished and supplemented by Frodo with an account of the Lord of the Rings, right? So, how did I get turned around again? It's not that hard, actually. So, in other words, it's not just The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings combined. A lot of people think of The Hobbit and the Red Book as The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings combined. And it is those things, but it's more than just those things. it is also Bilbo's translations from the Elvish that are brought together and by Sam combined. And by the way, there's a particular, one is tempting to say self-serving reason why Tolkien included this particular piece of frame mechanism into The Lord of the Rings. That's what he was trying to get published. So he was done with The Lord of the Rings in like the late 40s, like 1947 or so. It took him about 10 years to write The Lord of the Rings. 1947-ish, he was done. And he goes back to, so remember it was Alan and Unwin who published The Hobbit originally, and who was excited to publish his sequel. What they thought they were going to get, what they were hoping for, was another Hobbit adventure. I think it's perfectly clear that their vision, right, their sales vision, was that The Hobbit was going to be the first book of a juvenile serial, like The Adventures of Dr. Dolittle, or like somewhat later, like for Americans might be more familiar with like the Hardy Boys or the Nancy Drew books or something like that. Like that's the kind of thing that they were really hoping that they could turn the popularity of the single volume Hobbit into a gold mine of like a 25 book series that like a whole generation of people would collect. Right. That was their hope and plan. That's what they wanted from Tolkien for when they talked about a sequel. Of course, The Lord of the Rings, not like The Lord of the Rings 10 years later was not at all what they had in mind. But when he finally got there and finished The Lord of the Rings, he goes back to them. He goes back to Alan and Unwin and is like, hey, sequel's done. And they're like, dude, what is this even? And they're like, okay, not what we had in mind. So by the way, where's the page? I just got to the place. Here I am backing onto that other place, the place I couldn't get to. Yeah, exactly. It's the back of the little camp we just looked at. Right. Is it not this far? Well, where on earth is it? If it's not like the end of the journey. Okay, go west. Over there. Okay. Boy, they really buried this one, didn't they? Over here? Okay, south and west from here. There it is! Found it! I saw it. Okay, I gotta kill this guy. All right. Ah, a singed page. Yes. You found a torn page of a journal. Its edges are singed, as if it was too close, as if it were too close to, as if it had been too close to an open flame. Perhaps you can find other pages. Perhaps I can. 15 pages? Let's go. Okay. So let me go back to the publication story while I attempt to escape, possibly fruitlessly. So the publication story. In the end, what do they call it? Alan and Unwin, the Hobbit publishers, were like, okay, we can like kind of probably work with this. This is the wrong way though. I want to escape. I want to get out. Can't I take a right and escape? They're like, we can work with this. Okay, but here's the problem. Tolkien then started to cause a problem because he was like, I have been working on the Silmarillion. And I want to publish the Silmarillion with it, the Silmarillion material with the Lord of the Rings. So how does that sound? And Alan and Unwin were like, how about no? Because first of all, the Lord of the Rings is already like huge. And it's huge and weird. But we're, but Rayner Unwin, who was the kid who liked The Hobbit and told his dad to accept it, is now running the show. And he's like, look, Professor Tolkien, this is great. Like, it's weird. But, we can work with this. But the Silmarillion, beyond the pale weird. And if we try to bind them together, which is what he wanted to do, what Tolkien wanted to do, to sell them as a unit, the Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion. And they're like, it's going to be hard enough to... No. Are you crazy? And so, though, they were like way more British about it than just actually saying that. Anyhow, so they said... They were like, let's just, how about we just do the Lord of the Rings? How does that sound? Right. Anyway, meanwhile, Tolkien had begun his famous flirtation with HarperCollins. The Milton Waldman, famous for being the recipient of Tolkien's enormously long letter to Milton Waldman, he was the HarperCollins editor at the time, and Tolkien had had some conversations with him in which Milton Waldman had expressed interest in the Silmarillion. My suspicion is that what he was expressing was like polite curiosity, but it was a little bit more than he was getting at that point from Alan and Unwin. So Tolkien began to formulate a scheme, and his scheme was ditch Alan and Unwin and work with HarperCollins instead, because HarperCollins wanted to publish, or he thought that HarperCollins was going to agree to publish the Silmarillion as well. And so he was like... But Tolkien found himself to be in a sort of an ethical bind, because he was like, I feel obligated to work, because he had a relationship with Alan and Unwin, and he's like, I can't just ditch them and be like, sorry guys, I'm working with HarperCollins now, right? So he sort of felt if they would take The Lord of the Rings, he was obligated to publish it with them. And so he adopted this cunning strategy. And his cunning strategy was to basically make them say no. He pushed them until, because he's like, if they say no, then I can, with total freedom of conscience, take it to someone else. So he goes back to them and he's like, publish it with the Silmarillion. Like, that's how I want it published. And they're like, well, no, we can't do that, but we would still like to publish The Lord of the Rings. And he pushed it and was like, ultimatum, all or nothing, in or out. And they were like, well, dude, out then. Like, and they were super polite. They were like, we really wish it hadn't come to that. You know, we would love to publish The Lord of the Rings, but we can't publish The Silmarillion 2 with it. That's crazy talk. So if you force us to say yes or no, it has to be no. And he was like, so sorry to hear that. And then he goes to HarperCollins. And then HarperCollins starts dragging their feet. And pretty soon Milton Waldman's out. And he's like, nope, actually not going to do it. And so now Tolkien thinks The Lord of the Rings is never going to get published at all. So eventually he goes back to Allen and Unwin, hat in hand, and is like, still interested in publishing just The Lord of the Rings and not the Silmarillion? And they were like, actually, kind of, yeah, let's do it. This is why it took 7 years between 47 and 54 before the book finally actually came out. It was largely because of these shenanigans. It would have been several years earlier if he'd just worked with Allen and Unwin on publishing The Lord of the Rings initially. But anyway, so you see the point? When at the end of The Lord of the Rings, he describes the Red Book of Westmarch as not only containing Bilbo and Frodo's writings, The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, but also Bilbo's translations from the Elvish. He has made the Red Book of Westmarch into his ideal, theoretical publication, right? The Red Book of Westmarch is exactly what he had been trying to get either Allen and Unwin or HarperCollins to publish, which was the combined Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and Silmarillion. So that's one of the really funny things about the Red Book, is that it's and remember, he was publishing this with Allen and Unwin at the time, who had refused to publish the Silmarillion with it. So when, you know, there's a certain element of like when he describes the West Book, he's like, see, that's what I wanted. It's right there in the text. Okay. Where's this? We have another camp here. Should I explore this? Are there going to be quests here? So I'm looking for a dude to talk to, because I've just passed Thorzhaf, and so now we're exploring again. This is unexplored territory. This is an allegiance area? What? What is this, Mordor allegiance? Huh. Okay. So there's nothing in here? I don't need to be here? No, I remember allegiances vaguely. I just don't know what allegiance would bring me here. But it's fine. Okay. I just saw a thing that looked like maybe I should explore in case I got quests. But if I'm getting no regular quests here, I'll bail. Okay. Oh, it's a daily quest area. I see. Okay, never mind. It's fine. Oh, hey, look, a Grimm. But wait, there's more. So I was coming with, that was all actually a little side trip from talking about the Red Book of Westmarch and its relationship to the Ælfwine frame of the Silmarillion. So Tolkien builds the West Book, the Red Book of, I can't even say it at all right. He builds the Red Book of Westmarch under like the influence in part of his own publication frustrations, right? He's now invented a new frame, by the time he finishes The Lord of the Rings, he's invented a new frame. And the frame is, the Hobbit frame. The Hobbits, like not the capital H Hobbit title of text, but the lowercase h Hobbit, the frame written by hobbits. But more. Let's go back a ways. Because, of course, in the... Oh, hang on. A fumarole. Flame roll, fumarole. Might as well. Well, it's a little warm down here. You'd think that the, like, open lava field that I'm standing on would hurt bare feet a little more than, you know, it currently is. Can I throw sand in the eyes of a fumarole? Does that work? Yeah, can we come up here if you're going to fight me, Mr. Worm? Okay. So again, the Hobbit frame. Because remember in the... yikes. In the... Whoa. Oops, I hit the wrong button. No, well, it's fine. I didn't want to fight that guy anyway. Yeah, Red Book of Westmarch. So you remember in the prologue to the Lord of the Rings, he describes that basically how we get the Lord of the Rings is by that how he, Tolkien, the modern researcher, right, discovers the Red Book of Westmarch, or rather, you know, a later text, a later copy of the text, like the one that was influenced by Findegil King's writer. And from that makes a translation, and that's essentially what we're reading when we're reading The Lord of the Rings. So, so that becomes our immediate frame, the immediate story by which we have gotten access to The Lord of the Rings. But let's trace this backwards a bit now. Oh, hey, Valestris. Hey, oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you've been enjoying the series. Good to hear from you. Yeah, this has been fun. When did I start? 2015? It's been almost 10 years now. You know, Gryfflet ought to have a 10-year anniversary at some point. We should do some kind of celebration, shouldn't we? No, Tolkien's birthday was the beginning of exploring the Lord of the Rings. I started Gryfflet in a much more random fashion. It was 8 years ago? Was it 2017? Was it as late as that? 2017? I thought it was earlier. But maybe. Okay. Naerband and Orodir. I started the first episode of this on Tolkien's birthday? For real? Oh, here's the dude. Oh, that's exploring the Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. Right. Okay. Yes. Yes. That I knew I started on Tolkien's birthday, and 2017. Yes. No, it's just Gryfflet. I always forget when I started Gryfflet. Cause that was earlier, significantly earlier. Okay. Akhrûn. Hi. The woman seems apprehensive about speaking to you. You are not from here, I can see. I am Akhrûn. I have prayed for freedom each day. Now it is here, but not the freedom of my dreams. My freedom led me and my brethren to flee from our slavers in Udun. We felt that freedom for the first time, when the tower fell and fires spilled from out of the mountain. I wished to return to my family in Nurn, but we were enslaved again by those who dwell in Naerband. I resisted, so they threw me into prison. The rest are still being held outside the fortress. Now I do not know what to do. Ah, now this is a quest chain I can get behind. Okay, May 15th, 2015. Yeah. Oh my goodness, we passed the 10-year anniversary. Like we just passed it a month ago. My goodness. We should have had a party. It seems Akhrûn isn't accustomed to talking for extended periods of time. She catches her breath and continues. Naerband is a prison that no one leaves. We were meant to be rotting in cells, sometimes tortured or worse. I alone escaped. I found a loose brick in my cell. Behind the brick were some metal shavings that I was able to use to pick the lock of my cell. From there, I found an old forgotten passage that led to the outside. I want to rescue the rest of my fellow Nurnhoth from Naerband, but I cannot do it alone. Will you help us retain our newly found freedom? Absolutely. I am thankful for your help. First, we will need to defeat many of these Orcs of fire who patrol from here to Naerband. All right. A dull but sensible first step. So it looks like then how this working is there's going to be one primary quest giver in each of the areas. And she's the one here for Naerband. Okay. All right. So first, we'll start with the first simple quest here. And I'll resume the story. So, Velestris, I am so delighted to hear that my series have been of some help to you. That is enormously rewarding, and I'm so glad. I wish you all the best in your continued fight. I have people within my own family who have done and are doing the cancer fight, and I am in total sympathy and would encourage you however I could. So, back to the Red Book of Westmarch. Let's think about think backwards a little bit on the Red Book. Where does the Red Book come from? Bilbo and Frodo. Yes. But think now Silmarillion frame, because now we're to understand that Bilbo's translations from the Elvish are the Silmarillion, right? So now that's become the Silmarillion frame. It has nothing to do with Alfwine, right? It has nothing to do with Anglo-Saxon England. Instead, now it is it's about the Red Book of Westmarch. So let's consider the translations from the Elvish. Where do they come from? Well, ultimately, from the written and living sources that Bilbo had access to in Rivendell, we're told. Singed page. Yes. Oh, it's the story of the Gash High? Okay. Oh, didn't see over there, man. So he gets the stuff from Rivendell. Where do they get it from? That is obviously, many of them remember it, right? Like Glorfindel was there for a bunch of it. So that covers what, the prologue author, right, our editor, refers to as the living sources. But there were written sources as well. Who wrote them? No, it doesn't matter, does it? You're both going to annoy me no matter what happens. Who wrote the written sources that Bilbo used to make his translations from the Elvish that get included in the Red Book of Westmarch? And I think that we have to conclude. So there are two sources of lore of the Elder Days stories, like Elder Days texts. I only need two more. I don't want to go all the way across that bridge and have to come all the way back just to report back to her. Can I get a couple more? There are a couple more right over there. Maybe there's some more singed pages over here. One, of course, is Elendil, Numenor. The Númenóreans had lore from the Elder Days. And Elendil and his followers brought some back. Now, Tolkien was kind of preparing for this. In several of his writings about Numenor, he emphasized, oh wait, these don't count? I need the patrollers? Just the patrollers? Oh, I didn't even notice that. I should pay more attention. Anyway, so, because he talked about Elendil and Elendil's ardent collection of lore. So Elendil was making himself a lore master, trying to preserve the ancient lore of old Numenor and the First Age, even long before he left, because of course with the whole Kingsmen thing, they didn't care. Not only did they not care about the earlier heritage of Numenor, they were trying to distance themselves from it. So it's very likely that they were actively working to rewrite it, right? So Elendil, this is a wagon. I didn't even notice it was like a wheeled thing. So Elendil collected a bunch of it, and he brought it back. Well, back. He brought it to Middle-earth with him. That lore would have been stored in Gondor, and it's therefore extremely likely that, especially in the early days of Gondor, Elrond would have collected it, right? He would have wanted that lore. So that some, at least like copies of Elendil's lore collections would have made it into Rivendell and therefore been available for Bilbo to consult is at the very least extremely likely, if not, overwhelmingly probable. So that's one pathway for surviving lore to get from the First Age, like first-hand accounts to get from the First Age to the Third Age is through Numenor and Elendil. Pengelod of Gondolin is the other famous scribe and lore master. Wait a second. I'm trying to talk to Akhrûn and it won't let me. Is she somewhere else now? Did she move? She moved. Oh, here I was reporting back to her. Did she say meet me by the door or something and I missed that? I see. That's a little bit vexing. It's okay. Akhrûn, I'll catch your other doppelganger over there. So anyway, Pengelod of Gondolin was a great scribe and lore master of Gondolin. And he survived and he survived the fall of Gondolin, and so he would also have been at the havens of Sirion. The idea is that Pengalod survived. I do not believe that he stayed into the Third Age, but many of his writings, in Gondolin, he began to collect many of the writings of like his own writings, like many of the stories of the First Age, because Gondolin was the last safe haven. And remember, increasingly as time went on, the elves of Gondolin felt that like they were the last survivors, you know. Oh, we're up to 113. Great. No need to cap my XP. Phenomenal. So yeah, they felt that like they were concerned that the entire rest of Middle-earth was being totally overrun by Morgoth. All right. Yeah. Anyway, so in Gondolin, especially by the end, they... No, she's over here. Where the heck is she? She can't figure out where she is. Once they... So towards the end, they felt that like only there in Gondolin was like only they in Gondolin were left to preserve the memory of the things that had been, and the rest of the First Age, and the acts of all of the rest of them, right? So that's why he, that is Pengalod, begins doing the rather unusual thing, which is to collect and write down stories. Elves were not big into writing. It's funny that many people, I find that a lot of people assume that elves are bookish, that elves love books. It's not true. Elves don't love books. Elves don't care about books. Elves ignore books. Why do you need books when you're there? And when your memory is like, when you can walk back in your memory, like you're stepping into like a, you know, a hologram machine, right? Like a holodeck. Like it's, you don't need a book. A book is woefully inadequate. So yes, the elves invented writing systems, and they did write, but because they loved words and they loved language, but they didn't keep histories. Why keep histories when there's still eyewitnesses around you can just talk to anytime you want, if you happen to be born too late for something, right? So it was unusual. Historians, there weren't many elvish historians because that was like, seemed pointless. But Pengalod became a historian as it seemed more and more urgent, more and more clear that there was a risk that the stories would all be forgotten. So Pengalod was a very famous scribe, and he survives the fall of Gondolin and ends up in the Bay of Balar. And so there meets the, you know, refugees from Nargothrond and the refugees from Doriath. And so he's the one who basically, he's the author of the Silmarillion. In some versions of this, it's mostly his writings. In fact, Pengalod is sometimes identified as the elvish interlocutor with Alfwine. He's like the one who tells Alfwine all the stories, because he goes after the end of the First Age, after the War of Wrath. He goes to Elvenhome. Pengalod does. So he's there. There may be some, however, of his writings, because he did write stuff down, that survive. And that could be another source of Elrond's lore. Good, we have made it to the bridge to Orodir. It is here where they keep prisoners before sending them to die in Naerband. Our Akhrûn looks out across the span towards Orodir. I was taken here with my brethren in cages. We were told that we did not uphold the great laws that Sauron has put in place over Mordor. Our punishment was to be bound in chains. Orodir has many of the Orcs of Fire, known as Gashai. I hear that they came to Naerband soon after the tower fell. I do not know why, though. You must rescue as many Nurnhoth as we can and stop Naerband from abducting those who deserve their freedom. Okay, now I get Pathfinder boots. And I already have Pathfinder boots. I have Pathfinder Lithe boots. I don't get Boots of the Towers. Of all the things. Okay, it's fine. More. Let's see. Ah, here we go. Many prisoners are chained to walls in Orodir. We must break the chains and prevent any more from being enslaved. Okay. For the oppressed. I will need some supplies for this journey that I hope to take back to Nurn. We should see if there are any supplies and rations to gather in Orodir. Okay. Sounds practical. We must free any Nurnhoth we find held captive in Orodir. They deserve to experience the freedom I have known, though only for a brief time. The freedom I held brought beauty to my life in this dark land. Collect keys. All right. Good, good. Love me a good slave liberation quest. Of course, it's the Nurnhoth that are going to be given Nurn by Aragorn to rule as their own. So that's fun. Excellent. So I have a bunch of quests down here for Naerband now. And I'm 1 fumarole and 1 grim away from completing the Fires of the Akhrûn quest. Good, good. We're making some serious progress now. Excellent. Okay. However, I am out of time. So Gryfflet finished his pit fighting in Thorzhaf, got his initial lore quest finally, and am working my way through the singed pages now, as we work our way into. But this is it's interesting that the epic quest didn't bring me here to Naerband. But whatever. Fun to explore, so I'm looking forward to that. And next time we will see what we can find and how far we can get through the quests of Naerband. Maybe we can get all of those and then move over towards Enin-Ur next time as we make progress through Talith Urui, which is our penultimate stop in our completionist tour of Mordor. I thought the epic was going to take us here later, Pine Leaf. I had vague memories of crossing this bridge. As I recall, when I crossed this bridge with Wigand doing my epic quest run, I was like seriously under level and was getting my butt kicked by the Gashai, as I recall. But it's kind of funny being here with Gryfflet and confidently over level. Anyway, that is all for today. I'm not going to be able to be here next week for a delightful reason, and that is I'm going to be at Mythmoot. Mythmoot is happening next weekend down in Leesburg, Virginia. It's the big conference of the year for Signum. Can't wait to spend that weekend, next weekend, with such a wonderful group of people that I look forward to seeing every year. Going to be great fun. I am going to do a special Lotro stream. I have a tradition of doing a Lotro stream in front of a live studio audience at Mythmoot, and so we're definitely doing that this year. But I forget what day it is. I don't make the schedule, so I don't remember what day they put me on, what evening they put me on for my Lotro stream. Probably Thursday or Friday night, I think. But in any case, that will be on the Signum University Twitch channel, is where we will be broadcasting that. Saturday seems very plausible. JJ, quite likely that is it. We'll see. But in any case, stay tuned for that. So anyway, won't be here for my regular Gryfflet stream next week, but I believe I will be here the week after that. and perhaps slightly more regularly. I wonder if we might be able to finish Mordor this summer. By fall, by the time the leaves start turning again, we can be moving off up to the north, up into the Iron Hills, which I think is where the epic quests take us next. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me again, and I will see you all in a fortnight. Stay tuned for Druid's Fire. Bye now. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.